Hi, my name is Kim Williams-Guillen, and I work for the conservation nonprofit Paso Pacifico. We need your help to help save the last population of jaguars on Nicaragua's Pacific coast. Nicaragua is located in Central America, which is the long isthmus of land that connects North and South America. And we're working in a very special area of Nicaragua, so let's take a closer look. Buckle your seatbelts, here we go. As we zoom in here, you'll see Nicaragua, which is Central America's largest country. It lies just to the north of Costa Rica. And like Costa Rica, it has amazing biodiversity. However, much of it is threatened. To help save endangered animals, we're focusing on the narrow strip of land between Lake Nicaragua and the Pacific Ocean. That's it in red. We call this area the Paso del Istmo Biological Corridor. The Paso del Istmo is dominated by tropical dry forest, but it has a wide variety of habitats. Dry forest, moist forest, mangrove forest, wetlands, and marine habitats. But there's also a lot of problems in the Paso del Istmo. It's in the most highly densely populated area of Nicaragua, so a lot of the original forest has been converted to agriculture and cattle pastures. The result is that the original habitat has become highly fragmented into small little pieces of forest. And so we're working to put it back together. So even though it has all of these problems, it also has amazing natural beauty and biodiversity. And our vision is to restore this landscape to a connected, healthy habitat. There are beautiful tropical forests dominated by large trees. There are marine habitats where sea turtles come to nest, as they have been doing for millions of years. There are mountainous areas where we're working to restore forests. Our organization, Paso Pacifico's motto is making connections for conservation, because we're trying to restore habitat connectivity all through this area. Many of our programs focus on endangered animals, like endangered spider monkeys, the threatened yellow-naped Amazon, and other animals. We've recently discovered a new population of jaguars in this region, and so we would like to help conserve them. The population of jaguars that we're talking about lies in this red circle here that is part of the Paso del Istmo. You can see that it connects to a population of jaguars that lies just to the south in Costa Rica, and it also happens to be the northernmost jaguar population that's found on Central America's Pacific coast until you get fairly high up into Mexico. So this population is important to restore jaguars all along Central America's Pacific coast. What are we going to do in our project? We're going to survey the jaguars in the Paso del Istmo using camera traps and track surveys. We're going to work with local people to help collect data and to make sure that they're involved in every step. And we'll partner with ranchers and hunters to carry out workshops to help mitigate human-jaguar conflict. Our main tool is going to be camera traps, and that's why we need your help, because they're kind of expensive. A camera trap is a kind of camera that has a waterproof casing so you can leave it out in the forest. There's a lens that gets tripped by a sensor that detects motion. And camera traps these days usually have an infrared flash, so you can even use them at night. Here's some examples of camera trap photos that I took in another part of Nicaragua back in the good old days when we still used film. And you can see that you can get a wide variety of information about all kinds of animals, from birds to pacas to agoutis. But we need multiple camera traps to deploy them in pairs. That's because sometimes the camera traps malfunction, and you'll get a lot of pictures like these ones on top of a stick, and occasionally the back of a tapir as well. And sometimes camera traps detect somebody other than an animal, and sometimes they go off and flash in your face while you're trying to fix them. We have been able to put a few camera traps in the Paso del Istmo. Here's a video we took of a jaguar, one of the ones that we're trying to protect. The great thing is that these camera traps can be used to study a whole wide variety of animals too. Here's an ocelot. And here we see some video of a critically endangered Baird's tapir. So even though our area is not as pristine as some, there's a tremendous amount of biodiversity there. With the camera traps, we can learn the minimum number of jaguars in our study area because we can use pictures to compare coat patterns and recognize different individuals. That's another reason that we need pairs of camera traps to take pictures of both sides of the animal. We'll be able to calculate a minimum population density based on that information, and we'll be able to locate jaguar ranges in particular hotspots for jaguar activity in the Paso del Istmo. And finally, we'll use this information to help us plan and prioritize for jaguar conservation in the region. We're looking for donations to help us buy camera traps, and your donation will allow us to purchase camera traps and also use that information to build a new jaguar conservation program that will ultimately support community-based forest rangers and bring researchers to the field to study these jaguars. What researchers, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Our project leaders are me, Kim Williams-Guillen. I've been working in Nicaragua since 1998 on all kinds of issues of mammal conservation. And our project will be led by Miguel Ordeñana, who is a Nicaraguan-American biologist based in Los Angeles and the primary investigator of the Urban Carnivores program in Los Angeles. If you give us a donation of $250 or more, you'll get a special prize. We'll make a plaster cast of a real animal footprint for you. It could be a jaguar, a puma like this animal here, or any number of other creatures. So help us out. Your donation will help us save Nicaragua's last population of jaguars on the Pacific coast.